All right, let's go ahead and jump into what's going on with markets today. So, we're going to start off with meta indices, and SPYs, Qs, IWMs, Bitcoin, real quick. Then we're going to look at top movers. We do have a couple interesting movers today. AMC, big mover. Bctx, which had important news today. Then we'll do open Q&A. And for open Q&A, when we do that, call-outs are very simple. If you have something you want to, if you have something that, a stock or any sort of instrument that you want me to take a look at, do analysis on, symbol, time frame, 1 cent subscription, bullish or bearish. You need those 3 things. That's it. Do that, and you will get your call-out. So SPYs, we are in a mildly positive gamma territory. That means the market is net long options. That means volatility should be constricted. We said yesterday, hey, I expect volatility to be subdued in SPYs, and that's exactly what happened. Not a big move up or down. We're expecting something similar today. I like dips towards this kind of 418.04. If we happen to get that, I'll take a little dip trade on this, see if we can push up to 420. But I overall bullish. I think dips will be bought, and I'm not expecting big moves in SPYs. We had a little bit of a roll off, but then it found support and has bounced back. So kind of expecting that. I don't see SPYs beating or clearing out kind of 423 today. I think it'll be capped by that. There's just not a whole lot of fuel in SPYs right now. Qs is in, taking a look at Qs. Where's Qs? Qs is in negative gamma territory. Decent amount, actually. A decent amount. And so that means that there's potential for greater volatility in Qs. Qs has kind of been in, just realized I don't have my trusty pen. Trusty pen. I need a name for trusty pen besides trusty pen. We'll have to figure that one out. Qs has been stuck in this corrective structure, 335, 332, for, 7 days now, 8 days now. Because it's in negative gamma, that means there's a potential for greater volatility increase. And so when you look at it that way, that means moves up or down could be a little bit more exaggerated. And the negative gamma means the market is net short options. They're in net short puts, net short calls. That creates more volatility. So when I look at Qs as a whole, I don't see us breaking 338 today. And I would probably say that 330 would hold pullbacks. So if we get to 330, that might be an interesting buying opportunity. But it tried to break out the last couple times here and here. Then aggressive selling yesterday, found support at the 332. Support again here. If this fails, then I think you're going to see a move towards 330 pretty quick. So that would be a pretty quick 1-point drop. If 330 starts to fail, then I feel like volatility could start to really expand in Qs. That will put pressure on tech. So keep an eye on that. If 330 fails, we get like an hourly close by 330, you should start to see an aggressive sell-off in Qs. For the upside, even if you clear 335, you're gonna struggle. I don't see this really taking out 339, 340 or anything like that today, and definitely not the highs at 342. I just don't see Qs having enough fuel to do that really. I think there'll be hedging activity at that point. So looking at IWMs, much more supportive. IWMs now in positive gamma territory, first time in a while. And so I think, and we're seeing this kind of resurgence in small caps. This last 2 weeks, small caps have been moving pretty well. They've been strong. Not gangster, but strong. A lot of it being helped by AMC. We will get into AMC shortly. I think IWMs struggles the higher we get. So I think it's going to be supported on dips. I think shallow pullbacks will probably be bought. But I think once we start getting into the 231 or 233, 234, I think it's going to cap resistance. I don't really see the markets having enough fuel to make it past that. So I would probably look to sell this resistance play here, maybe a pushback down to 230. But we'll see if IWMs can build a higher base going into this. So I like dips on it. I have an alert set out right around the anchored weekly VWAP. So if we get a dip to around mid 227, maybe 228, I'll consider buying that dip. I think somewhere between 227 and 228. 225 is also a really good buy point. I think we get to mid 225s. I think that'd be a really good buy. But I don't expect massive volatility in IWM today, being that it's in positive gamma territory. The one thing that could throw that off is AMC, which we'll get into shortly. So Ethereum building some strength and building a little bit of a base. So we do have we have the same lows here, higher low, higher low, higher low. It's going to need to clear this top side at 2,800. And if it can do that, then it's going to start to challenge this kind of 3,000 area. Still, until we break 3,000, I can't say I'd be aggressively bullish on Ethereum. I like the dip buying plays. We bought dips on this. And we bought somewhere around here a little bit recently. But I don't feel like adding any more Ethereum unless we get back down to like 2,000, sub 2,000. Then I think it's a steal at that point. But we're going to need an hourly close above that to break some of this kind of technical structure here. As long as it keeps pressing, building higher lows, then it should form a breakout. But it's going to need to do so impulsively. So keep an eye on that. The structure is building, but it's not fully there yet. It hasn't cleared out kind of the cobwebs around 3,000, which it's going to need to do. But overall, getting more and more supportive. Okay, let's talk about AMC. So AMC had absolutely bananas options activity yesterday, and yet it didn't rip. It didn't rip like Thursday. Why was that? Because on Thursday last week, we had an incredible amount of options activity. Like we were well over 1 million calls yesterday and 500,000 puts, but we had very similar activity on Thursday as well. What was the difference? The difference was the dealers weren't hedged on AMC. So people started buying massive amounts of calls. If you are a dealer or market maker and I buy 1,000 calls on AMC, that dealer and market maker is now short 1,000 calls. Dealer and market makers do not want directional exposure. They want to be delta neutral. So if I'm buying like the delta 50 calls on AMC, well then that means the dealers are negative delta 50. So they have to offset that. And how are they going to offset that? They're going to buy an equal amount of shares, AMC shares, to offset that position. So if I buy 1,000 calls, then they're going to buy 500 shares of AMC stock. They weren't hedged, and because of that, it created a gamma squeeze. That's why you saw the massive rip on Thursday. By Friday, they were hedged. On top of it, they raised implied volatility. And so because of that, they made options more expensive. And that's also happened yesterday. Yesterday, there's an enormous amount of options activity in AMC, and yet it really didn't budge. It hit the high of 32.76 twice, but it just didn't have a ripping session. It did rip in the overnight session because the dealers probably weren't hedged for that kind of overnight position or anything like that. They were hedged going into this, but they probably didn't expect such a big move like that. So with that being said, we kind of had this pretty big sell-off at 44. If you want to understand what's going on with AMC and how it's going to move, you have to understand options. And you have to understand dealer gamma. If you don't understand that, then you won't understand whether AMC is going to move or not. I've seen so many YouTube traders that were like, oh, AMC's going to the moon, AMC's going to 50, AMC's going this and that. And I literally was on like a chat yesterday with this one community, thousands of people there, and they're like, oh yeah, AMC's going to 50. And I come in, I'm like, AMC is not going to 50 today. And I got lambasted for that. And what happened? AMC did not go to 50 on the day. So it was obvious because of the option activity. IV was way too high. They couldn't push the options around. They became really expensive. It didn't have the same fuel that it did before. So with that being said, can AMC hit 50 today? Possibly. There's a really good rip in the overnight session, 32 to 44. That's a really, really good rip. But we've sold off 6 of that. What is that? $12 gain. We sold off 50% of that $12 gain. And I feel like the higher that AMC goes, the more dealers will actually start to sell AMC stock at that point, because I think they're pretty much hedged at this point. I think they're fully aware of what's going on. I think they're fully aware that people are trying to kind of gamma squeeze AMC. That's why they raised IV up to like 400+%. Some of the wings have implied volatility at 500%, 600%, absolutely insane. And so I think they're raising IV, and they've got enough shares at this point that if AMC goes up, they don't need to hedge anymore. So they're not adding any more fuel for AMC to rocket higher. So with that being said, AMC is looking a little weak at this point. I think if we clear 37.55 and maybe 36, you're coming right back down to 32.68. That's what I see happening in AMC. So we'll see. It's going to need to regain VWAP and 40, but when I looking at options on AMC, there's around 2.15 million calls and 2.2 million puts. And about 35% of the options in AMC are rolling off this Friday. And so we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If those calls aren't making any money, or they're making a little bit of money, but AMC starts pulling back, they're going to monetize that. They're going to close out those calls for profit. That reduces the support and fuel for it. Again, I feel like AMC is going to struggle to really maintain gains above 40. I think the market is pretty well hedged at 40. I think everything above 40 is a grind. I think everything above 40 is a grind. Yeah, 40 all the way up to like 49.50 is going to be a grind. So we'll see what the next move in this was. We'll keep an eye on this in the live trading session, if it breaks down, if it breaks up. But that's kind of what I'm saying AMC. Just looking at questions real quick. Will you have a crypto course? Don't need a crypto course. We don't need a crypto course. We don't need a course specifically on any particular asset class because our methods are based upon order flow. And order flow models in crypto, like breakouts in crypto, have virtually the same order flow patterns and structures as they do in stocks, as they do in FX, as they do in commodities. It doesn't really matter. So our trading masterclass, we do cover crypto, but there's no need in having a course specifically for crypto, because of the fact that our models work in all asset classes. They are based upon core principles of order flow and price action. So if we did, create a course in crypto, we would probably just make a free course in YouTube on like, hey, here's the things you need to know about the crypto market, trading this. But we'd still be teaching the same methods. You still need the same skills in trading crypto than you do trading stocks. There are some slightly different environmental skills that are different between crypto and stocks. Stocks has open and closes. Cryptos is 24/7. There's a few things like that. Brokerages are different. There are certain things that you can trade and not trade. You can trade options with crypto, but I'm not really excited about it. The platform's not that great. LedgerX, you can trade options with them, but I'm just not super excited about it yet. If they can bring options to Thinkorswim, then I'd be a little bit more interested. But other than that, there would be no point in us creating a whole course just for crypto because the same methods I use to trade stocks are the same methods I use to trade crypto. They work on all asset classes. So yeah. Mass with Lincoln. Hey, we're Lincoln here from Jamaica. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. Alrighty. Let's take another mover on the day, Bctx. And if you haven't already, whack it, smack it, spank it, that like button. Smack that like button for doing this. We appreciate it. Okay. Bctx, top 3 mover on the day, up about 106%. 12.3 million shares traded pre-market thus far. We got 2 minutes to the bell. And its average 30-day volume is 1 million shares per day. So it's now 12 times its average daily volume. What happened with Bctx? They had an announcement about their breast cancer therapy. Let's see. Overall survival benefit in pre-treated breast cancer patients. Yeah. Disclosed heavily pre-treated advanced breast cancer patients. When we were treated with Briacel's lead candidate, Bri-IMT, a monotherapy and also a combination with checkpoint inhibitors, including Merck. And basically, let's see, the 12 months of average overall survival benefit was observed, including 13.4 months in patients with 2 antigens. So basically, they came out with some research, and it was all very positive on their main product. And so because of that, you've seen the stock just absolutely go gangsters. I'm not sure what stage it's in. They are a clinical stage company, so that means they're either stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. But generally when I see this, depending upon which stage it is, and I was still looking for that. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I was still looking for that, but does it say whether it's... Okay, doesn't say whether it's a stage 2 or stage 3. Not that I can see. So with that being said, and there's the bell. I think this will probably rip for today, maybe rip one more day tomorrow, and then I think you're going to see this kind of pull back a little bit to a little bit more earthbound reality. But for today, bullish. So news came out 3 to 7. It's been holding the corrective structure at the top, which is very bullish. And as we can see, there is some potential support here around 625, which is this kind of boom, boom, and boom. If it loses 579, then I would start looking at 5.4 and 5 to potentially get long. The key is if it breaks the pre-market highs at 773, which clock in right about here. That's pre-market highs. So if we break pre-market highs, where does this have room to run? How much profit can we get out of it? I think 9, potentially 11.71, possibly even a rip up to 14. We saw a stock recently gain like almost 200% on positive news. Now it's unwound most of the gains, but there is potential even for this to move to maybe 19 and 20. We'll see how much volume it gets. But I'm liking how this is supported at the top right now. So watch pullbacks or watch breakouts of this structure. I'm going to look the set and alert at 793 and watch the breakout. Let's see, what kind of dip would I want in this? Okay, 594. We'll wait for a potential dip to 594, and we'll go from there. Okay, so that is our two big movers on the day, AMC and Bctx. Okay, open callouts. We can do that for a little bit, and then we will. I'll go to live trading with the members. So, Roku, first call out, Jake, on the spot. I'm liking this. I'm liking Bctx. I'm liking Bctx. AMC unwinding again. Okay, Roku. Looking at 4-hour 340 bottom and corrective structure. Let's take a look. Okay, let's see what's going on in option open interest in Roku. Let's see here. Boatload of options rolling off on Roku this Friday, almost 30%. Although it's not a gangster option stock. 120,000 calls, 117,000 puts. I think this is going to cap. I think 350 is going to cap this week. Yeah, I think 350 is going to cap. I think maybe if it's lucky, it gets to 360. But I think beyond that, I think it struggles. I think this is going to cap this week. I would let these options roll off. I see what you're saying technically. Technically, it makes sense. But if it breaks this corrective structure, it could unwind very fast. Potentially 328, 329 isn't bad. I think it's going to have a really good base. Yeah, I think it's going to be capped. This might be an interesting iron butterfly for the week. Like a 347 to 356 and then 347. So the 347 to 354 and then a 347 to 340 potential iron butterfly. Yeah, I think it's going to be capped by this. I think it's going to be capped. I think it's going to struggle. So some of the fuel is kind of unwinding a bit. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on Roku. So not quite there yet. Wait for a little bit. Wait for these options to roll off. And then I will look to get long on that. Because you're talking 30% of the options are going to roll off this Friday. That's a huge amount of option fuel that's not going to be there as of Monday. So if I would look to get long, I would probably look to get long Monday next week. Maybe Monday or Tuesday. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Doge. I heard Coinbase Pro is going to be getting Doge, which I think is interesting. Okay, we'll go with get out of here. Darn it, you ruined my thing. Let's go with Bctx. Okay. Long 3880. What time frame, Constantine? Oh, okay. 1 hour. Copy that. Copy that. Yeah, Doge probably got a little bullish on the news that it's going to be traded on Coinbase Pro. You know, it was kind of consolidating. I think the news came out yesterday around this time. And then we're seeing a little bit of a rip. You want 3880? Yeah, it's a good price. I like it. I like it. Good location. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of in a similar structure to Ethereum, where it's in this kind of wide corrective structure at the bottom. If it clears 44, you get an hourly close above 44, I think that will ignite a lot more technical buying. So yeah, I like that. I like that location. Good spot. Good spot. Alex Simonu. Sorry about that. Yuri Yen, I have the pairs broken out. Not quite yet. Daily bullish and pull back to 9 EMA, 133.50. 133.50. Let's take a look. I mean, it seems to be tracking the monthly VWAP pretty well. Let's take a look at this 4 hour. This is saying around 132. Okay, 133 flat. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Mother effer. Kind of see this. Yeah. So dips to the bottom of the channel. You could probably redraw that a little bit. It's hard to draw a straight line on that. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not bad. Maybe a little bit lower than that, but yeah, not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Play this as long as the channel holds. As soon as the channel breaks, then wait for a deeper pullback. That's kind of what I'm thinking on Yuri Yen. Sudarshan Joshi, you are the first man to choose bullish black color. It's actually not black, it's dark blue. So it's actually dark blue. It's the colors of our website. Yeah. But yeah, close. Very close. It's pretty close. Zip H1 2166. Zip Recruiter. Interesting. I have not. This is a new stock. Okay. 2166. Does it have? Yeah. Good location. I like it. Does Zip have options yet? It does not. Probably options this week or early next week. Yeah, I like your location. And it's a good location. I don't know much about this company. Ooh, average volume 168K. Ew. Ew. That's rough. That's a little rough. Yeah, I'd probably wait a little bit lower, maybe 2155. Not a fan of the low volume, but I mean, for an IPO or direct listing, it's up 2 consecutive weeks, which is, it's not up a gangster amount, up 10%, but it's decent. Yeah, I'd wait for a little bit deeper pullback, maybe 2153 on this one here. Yeah. Yeah. And ideally, you wait till options happen. Okay. INTC 1 hour. INTC 1 hour, 56.50. Checked out options on INTC in a little bit. That's because I typed it wrong. Okay. 1.2 million calls, 1 million puts, 20% of the gamma rolling off this monthly OPEX, June 18th. Top open interest calls around 65. Top open interest put is 50. No earnings for a little bit, so you're clear on that. This feels like it wants to go lower. You know, you have kind of a false break here. You had a good base of support. breakout, false break, lower high, same lows. Yeah, I would almost anticipate that this is probably going to want to, break below these lows here at 56. I'm not totally gangster on the structure. I would expect a little bit more of an unwind on this. Where would I consider potentially getting long? Possibly 56. Possibly 56. If 56 fails, then I would look for like a 54, 53, 50. Like I would if this fails, then you're going to test 56. If that fails, then I think you're going to start testing this down here. So that means it would unwind all of that. And so, yeah, I'm not excited about the current levels. I'd wait a little bit. I'd wait a little bit on that one there. Okay, and last one from Jake here. TGH. Tech Standard Group Holdings Limited. No idea on this one. Do we got TGH? Do we got options? We do have options on you. No, almost no options. Wow. 9,700 calls, 1,100 puts. Ouch. Spreads are going to be painful. Liquidity is going to be bad. 36% of the options rolling off this monthly OPEX. I think 35 is your ceiling for this week. I don't think it gets past. I don't think we have a close above 35 this week. I think 35 is going to roll. I think this is going to roll back a bit. I think it's going to roll back a bit. I could easily see this rolling back down to 25. Yeah. Maybe 29.50. Yeah, I think this is probably going to roll back to 30 by the end of this week. But if it gets down to 25, I consider buying again. So yeah, not something I want to touch right now. I think it's going to be capped. Yeah. All right, last one for Alex, Kiwi Yen. I think you got to look for a deeper pullback on this one here. I think 78.20 would be my first area of getting long. Yeah, it's not as clean as Euro Yen. Like it had to add a little bit of false break, find liquidity back here, push higher. But if it starts to sell off aggressively again, then that means it's struggling, around the 80 handle. Yeah. Yeah, I could see there being some profit taking, struggling around the 80 handle. Need a little bit deeper pullback to get long. So 78.20, 78.15 seems like a better location. But medium-term bullish on this. I think yen pairs are going to continue to push a little bit higher. I could see Kiwi yen struggling a little bit because you got 81 and 82 and 83. And I think you're going to see some serious profit taking around 83. But that's kind of what I'm seeing on that one there. Okay. Any last questions? No more from Alex and Jake. You guys have exhausted your cues for today. Any last questions before we wrap it up and then I go to live trading with my members? How's Bctx doing? Holding, serve, AMC. I'm curious to see what options are in AMC. A little bit of dip and then rip. Fubo. Wow. Fubo gangster. Darn, did we miss our opportunity to get long on Fubo? I've been waiting for a little bit more of a pullback on Fubo. You can see I like alerts all over here, and we just missed it on that one there. Like, just missed it. Like, how much did we miss it by? Like 30 cents. We might have missed it. I think Fubo's probably going to make another run now. That's kind of what I'm seeing on Fubo. Skills. Skills. Let's take a look. Yeah, we're seeing very similar. We're seeing very similar charts. Fubo, skills. There was another one that looks very much like this. Space, I think, is one of them. You're just seeing a lot of stocks that had a great 2020, got sold into oblivion, and are now starting to recover, and people are thinking are undervalued. I think skills is probably one of those. So let's take a look at options activity on skills. 30% of the options rolling off this June, 339,000 calls, 150,000 puts. It's a lot of call fuel. I think this will struggle to get past 20, but I like pullbacks on this one here. If we can get a pullback, where would I like a pullback on? 1764 is not bad. And where else would I like to get a deeper pullback to? Let's take a look at 4 hour. 15 is gangster. 1515 is gangster. I don't think we're going to get there. 1760, 1653. And then I think 15, put a little bit early ahead of 1526. So what I'm saying is a few levels here. Like that one, and like that kind of base right there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on skills. I do think it's going to be capped around 20 today. Yeah, I think it's going to be capped around 20. So I think at 20 it starts to profit taking, hedging activity, anything like that. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to struggle to get past that, at least today. So yeah, not bad, not bad. Okay, I'm going to go to live trading with the members right now. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Show the support and love. We appreciate it. This Friday, I'm not doing a webinar, but we do have a new video coming out this Friday about order flow. And then next Friday or next week, I'll be doing Monday, Benzinga Get Technical. I'll do the Wednesday show like we did today. And then I'll be doing a Friday open Q&A because we won't have a video. Our video editor will be on vacation at that point. So good luck trading, everybody. I will see you guys. Members, I'll see you in the live trading room very soon. Be safe, be smart, always control risk. Trading is risky, understand that. Make sure you read our disclaimer. Good luck trading today, and I'll see you in the green. Take care, everyone.